Hello. Let me just present this for you. Now, as per the title of this video, I'm going to literally show you in this video how restaurant marketing is a complete scam and how you're not, and exactly why you're not making money from your restaurant marketing. Okay. I'm going to keep it very simple. I've made it in a slideshow format so that you can follow along step by step. So you can, show this to your partners, whoever it is, to let them know that restaurant marketing is a scam and it's not going to help grow your restaurant. Okay, so let's get right into it. Not here to waste your time. I'm going to show you exactly why restaurant marketing is a scam. Now, that being said, sometimes people might be like, okay, what do you mean by why restaurant marketing is a scam? Now, in other words, what I mean is how you are getting scammed by restaurant marketing agencies, the devils, right? So the first question we have to actually ask ourselves, however, is restaurant marketing actually a scam? Well, the short answer is yes, it is a scam, and no as well. Now, you see, the answer itself is pretty twofold. The first issue relates to the amount of crappy restaurant marketing agencies that actually exist. Okay? Now, what I mean by that is from the outside, restaurants seem like one of those easiest businesses to market for. Okay? They rarely seem like one of the easiest businesses to market for. All right? Take some photos, post on Instagram and TikTok, hire some influencers for further engagement, spend some money on Facebook with boosted posts, maybe start building out a database, do some buy one get one free offers or birthday offers, and boom, you have the ultimate restaurant marketing strategy in place. Now, I'm literally showing this to you from the perspective of having restaurants, growing restaurants, and building a restaurant marketing agency, so to say. And so what I'm telling you right now is almost a journey that we see why there's such a high influx of shitty or crappy marketing agencies in the industry. Okay. Now, as you pull back the curtains on a marketing plan that looks so simple to deliver, right? All you have to do is take some photos, post on Instagram and TikTok, hire some influencers for further engagement, spend some money on Facebook with boosted posts, maybe start building out a database and doing some buy one get one free offers here. Now, this should be a plan that an agency has offered you. Maybe this is your full marketing plan. And again, it looks straightforward. It looks like it should work, right? There's no reason why it should not work. You have visuals, you have engagement, you have influencers, you're leveraging people's attention, you're pushing paid ads, you're spending more money, you're building out a database to reach your customers, you have offers. And like I said, it is the ultimate restaurant marketing strategy. But as you pull the curtains back, it actually starts to dawn on you. It seems like every restaurant is utilizing this so called marketing blueprint, but most restaurants are still struggling to stay afloat. And so if that's the case, that means that, there is a flaw in this marketing plan. There is a flaw in the restaurant marketing industry, or there's a flaw in how people perceive marketing for restaurants. Now, you see the reason that is now you see the reason that this happens is not necessarily because these marketing agencies are intentionally trying to scam you. It's just that they don't understand the important facts and numbers. Okay, you see, restaurants as a business model itself are one of the worst in existence, and I've kind of boiled it down to five main issues. Now, I'm not just throwing this out the blue. Like I said, we've owned restaurants, we've grown restaurants, we have a restaurant growth marketing agency or a growth a growth company. And what I'm showing you is based off of numbers, statistics, and real life experiences. Okay, and a lot of people in this industry can't say that. A lot of people can't be like, I'm talking to you with numbers and figures on marketing because I've actually owned restaurants, I've actually grown restaurants. And so this is all completely pure statistics. And so I said, the restaurant as a business model itself is one of the worst in existence, right? We have it bad. But I've kind of boiled it down to five main issues. The first main issue is that it's low ticket, right? So each customer doesn't spend much money with you. That means that each customer is spending anywhere between 20 to 50 pounds, depending on what type of restaurant you are. Maybe slightly higher if you're at exclusive fine dining, but on average 20 to 50 pounds, which isn't a lot of money. The second issue is that it's low margin. So even though it's low ticket, the cost to still deliver on the food and on serving customers, whether that's through rent, whether that's through kitchen, whether that's through electricity, whether that's through chefs, whether that's through staffs, whether that's third-party delivery platforms, cost of goods sold, right? All of this just to get, your margins at 8 to 10% on industry average, right? Some people are like 15, 20, maybe a little bit higher, but industry average is 8 to 10%. And so even though people spend low money with you, you still have a high cost to deliver on that. Then the third problem is high saturation. So there's lots of places, like if you walk down your road, there's probably going to be at least 10 different restaurants on one single road that you can choose to eat between breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, and so that means that this market is really highly saturated. Okay, and then the last one, I mean, the fourth one is that it's low differentiation. So even though there is 10 restaurants on your road, guarantee three of them are pizza restaurants. And so when you're in a market where products are very similar, where there's so many of them, but they're all so similar, there's this kind of dilemma of like, who do I go to? Do I even go to this restaurant? And some restaurants make it, some don't, right? And so that's a huge problem. But the most crippling problem of all is the small target addressable market, okay, or the small audience, if you wanna condense it. And this is, like I said, this is the most crippling, right? People only go so far for dinner or lunch, and so you're confined to people in your local area. It's like they say, like 75 to 80%, or probably even 90 to 95% of your customers come within a 5 to 10 mile radius at max from your restaurant. That's an insanely low market to go for. Like if I have an e-commerce brand and I sell clothes online, I can target the whole of Australia, the whole of New Zealand, the whole of England, the whole of America, the whole of um what's the other one? The whole of Singapore. I can target I can target all the big countries. There's so many people I can go after, whereas as a restaurant, people are only traveling 5 to 10 miles to you. And so it makes your market super small. And that's including all of the other problems. Okay. So just to recap, low ticket, low margin, high saturation, low differentiation, and most crippling of all, a small target market. And so, with something that looks as easy as what I said on the front end, but something that has so many crazy problems to actually solve on the back end, when you pull back these curtains, just to get the marketing right for a business model, this leads to a flywheel effect of destruction in both the restaurant industry. I mean, in the restaurant industry for both agencies and restaurants. I'm going to explain to you how this works in a second, right? Now, just to give you more context on this flywheel, if you're a restaurant owner and you've been in the space for at least a year, I can almost guarantee that you've worked with more than one agency already. 100% guaranteed. Okay? And if you're a veteran in the space, I'm sure you're fully armored up, horses at the ready, and eyes peeled like a hawk for whenever someone tells you that they want to do marketing for your social, they want to do marketing, they want to do social media marketing for your restaurant, right? You probably call bullshit the same second you see an Instagram DM or an email or someone cold calling your manager at the restaurant saying, "Hi, I want to do social media marketing for your restaurant," right? It's absolutely crazy. And you're probably armored up and you know this. Now, that being said, I am kind of going on this rant about how shitty these agencies are, how they don't understand the problems and things of that sort. But to be completely honest, right, at the beginning of our journey in the restaurant marketing space, after we had our own restaurants as well, is that we were actually part of these kind of marketing agencies that we're talking about, right? And so what I mean by that is we used to cover services like social media management, website design, boosted posts and ads, etc., right? But and just to kind of give you a little backstory, what we used to do is our main thing to get customers through the door was running Facebook ads and Instagram ads for like coupons that customers could claim at the restaurant. And now that we have completely changed the direction of our business and how we grow restaurants, this is actually one of the most common forms of services that agencies offer when they make crazy guarantees to restaurant, with things like bums and seat or new customers that are that I want to get you new customers. I'm going to get you bums and seats. I'm going to run coupon ads on your through Instagram and Facebook, right? So you might have seen something similar to this before. And so the main problem and why we made this shift is, for some of our clients this worked amazingly well, but for some it flopped, right? And it rarely flopped. And you might be asking, well, why? Well, we were not taking the various factors of local businesses, or specifically restaurants, into account, that being the location, the reputation, and all those main five problems that I had mentioned to you, right? Because those five problems don't help you if your marketing isn't specifically put in a place that can actually help combat these things. If you're doing something like this, it's never going to work, right? Because you're relying on factors outside of that. Okay. And also, for example, like we would try and take on restaurants that where before this on our low ticket offer, and we'd be like, hey, we'll do the marketing for you, but the restaurant might have 2.9 stars. No marketing is going to get your restaurant customers through the door if you have 2.9 stars, right? So there's lots of various factors around that, and restaurants in and of itself as a business model was very hard to combat that, especially not knowing about these internal problems or not understanding that we had to create our offer around that, right? And so, like I said, the restaurants would see great results for about the first 2 to 3 months, and then the results itself would diminish, right? They would kind of flop almost. And so, that being said, and like I said before, the problem was that we were doing all of this, we were doing it wrong. It would work for some restaurants, it wouldn't work for some restaurants because we weren't completely factoring in all of these different problems. But the main problem after all of that was that we were still not the only ones that they were doing this for restaurants, right? They were, or they still are, thousands of agencies and millions of restaurants. And so when you have thousands, when we have a total addressable market of millions of restaurants to go after, there's going to be thousands and thousands of marketing agencies that think they can actually, grow restaurants. And this inevitably led to an almost restaurant marketing bubble. Now, you may be feeling like I'm going off topic, but this is completely related to why marketing doesn't work for restaurants. And I'm basically giving you almost like a background history so you can understand a little bit more in depth on, adjacent markets to your market, which is restaurants, and why you need to be very careful when looking for a partner to grow your restaurant, right? And so, like I said, this inevitably led to an almost restaurant marketing bubble, okay? And that bubble basically is and still goes like this, right? You have a restaurant, you have a business, it needs to grow, okay? But because there's so many restaurants in the world, that leads to so many shitty marketing agencies that just want to make money from, trying to sell low level services that isn't actually going to impact your business. So your restaurant needs to go, you get promised something and you hire a shitty marketing agency, the service is provided to you, that you get minimal to no returns, you fire the shitty marketing agency, your restaurant is back in a position where it needs to grow, and the cycle keeps carrying on. And so you can see how how this can actually lead to kind of restaurants not being able to get the services that they need, but also shitty marketing agencies continuously getting into the market to actually continue this circle or this bubble that I'm talking about, right? Now, like I said, you may be thinking, okay, well, you've just told us that it doesn't work, but why doesn't it actually work? What causes these shitty marketing agencies to not actually be able to produce something that is worth worth the restaurant's growth, so to say? So let me give you an example of why it actually doesn't work, right? So let's just say you paid an ad agency £1,100 for the month, right? 600 for ads and 500 for their service. Yeah, 600 for ads, 500 for their service, or either way around, right? Usually it'll be actually 600 for the service and 500 for the ads itself, okay? And this is very reasonable. You're not going to find anything less than this on the market with anyone who's decent at, at what they do. So now the math, okay? So this paid ads agency is saying, I'm gonna do paid ads. I'm gonna pay for these ads. I'm gonna get you customers through your doors. I'm gonna get you these many bums and seats, etc., etc. So let me break down the unit economics of this, and I'm smiling and laughing because people don't realize where the problem lies. I like that rhyme, by the way. People don't realize where the problem lies. Okay, market cost per month. Okay, it's gonna cost you £1,100 for the marketing. Okay, your average spend per head at your restaurant is £35. Your average net profit is 10%, meaning that your break-even cost for this service is going to be £11,000. Does that make sense? Okay, marketing cost 1,100. Your profit is 10%. Your average net profit, and that's average again, so you can't say this is high or low. This is average, and your break-even cost would then be £11,000. Now, for your marketing agency to generate you £11,000 in revenue, right? They need to get you, and that's just so you break even on your marketing. They need to get you 314 new customers per month, or around 10 new customers per day, at a cost per customer of £1 at 1.9p, £1 and nine pence, or 90 pence. That is ridiculous. Facebook is not going to get customers walking through your door for £1 and 90 cents. That is insane to ask for an AI machine, which is Facebook, to run ads and do that for you. There is no possible way you are even making close to break even with these ad agencies. It is impossible if they do it like this, which 95% of them do like this, right? And so, like I said, that's an insane ROI to expect, and you're going to lose money. It is inevitable. Okay. So what a lot of agencies will do to combat this, because like you might be thinking, okay, well, there's so many, how does anyone even trust them? So what a lot of agencies do simply is they just say, well, according to industry standards, people will return to your restaurant an average of 6 to 7 times per year from their initial visit. So you can just actually multiply what they spent by 6 to 7. If you ask me, that seems a bit fluffy, and it kind of shows what kind of pyramid scheme it is being run. Okay, I would never be able to look at my customer in my eye and say, look, this is how much we made directly, but just times it by 6 or 7 because they're definitely going to return. And so your marketing is 600 to 700% profitable. That's not going to happen. All right. And so, like I said, that's the first scam. They sell you a dream that just mathematically does not make sense. Now, the second scam is a bit more dubious dubious and is a little bit more tricky. Okay. It's the creative agencies. Now, you might be thinking, well, okay, well, I have a creative agencies. But if you don't, well, who has one? They are the agencies that offer social media marketing, photography, videography, graphic design, etc., etc. They're super common, but it's very elusive. Okay, their job is to grow your social media pages with the intention that you get more online word of mouth that turns into real time demand and cash in hand. But unfortunately, that never seems to be the case. Right? You see, we talk to about 50 plus restaurant owners on a weekly basis, and whenever the topic of creative agencies come out, this is usually what we hear. They did this job, they rarely did. They did the job, they rarely did. They posted 4 times a week, they came in 1 to 2 times a month to film, they engaged with the customers online, but we haven't seen any tangible results from the management. Yes, we have seen increases in likes, comments, and followers, but nothing and no, but not an increase of money coming into the business. And so, like I said, this doesn't actually mean that it's actually a scam. But the problem is that restaurant owners don't seem to be able to justify the investment after a couple of months. Okay, and so even if the creative agency did their job and they delivered on what was promised, as a restaurant owner, you are put in a position where you have to decide whether these likes, followers, and comments that you aren't able to deposit into the bank are even worth you spending £2,000 a month or 25,000 pounds a year. It is insane. But the problem is, like I said, it's very elusive because they say they're going to do these things and they do it. They 100% stick to their word. But the problem is, as a business, you're hiring them with the first principle basis being that you need your business to grow. And so if your Facebook page is growing, if your Instagram page is growing, that is great. But if your restaurant is not growing, that sucks. Okay. And you're not going to be able to sustain this creative agency. And so, like I said, it's an elusive it's an elusive approach to marketing because they do exactly what they say they will. But unfortunately, as a restaurant owner, like I said, you're put in a position where you have to decide whether this is worth the investment or not, right? Now, the problem with agencies in general that we have seen why they're not able to actually overcome these challenges is because they've never actually had any experience in restaurants themselves, right? Most agencies do not have bad intentions. I completely agree with that. They're simply just misled to think that restaurants are super easy to market for. All right. And so you might be asking after everything, showing you this huge scam with the paid ads thing. Like I said, it's not a scam. It's not bad intentions. They just don't understand basic business and don't understand restaurants. Now, we obviously come from a position where, like I said, we've owned over 11 restaurants. We've worked with restaurants in 13 different markets, well, more than 13 different market segments. We own our own restaurant growth company. And so, we rarely do have top tier experience in the industry. But more importantly, the people on our team are all people who have experience within the restaurant industry. Like one of our people was the lead retention marketing for Prime Hydration, right, and sides at Sidemen. And so we really do take the approach of actually knowing restaurants on the inside to be able to create a plan that works for them. And so you might be asking, well, if these are all scams, what do you do? Now, to break it down for you, here are some extracts from one of our own internal files in our company that we have the whole team go through every time we onboard a new piece of talent or any person on the team, as an example. So Novak Media, the Novak Partners Program. So we make it unreasonable for restaurants not to add an extra £35,000 to their monthly revenue. The Novak Partners Program provides restaurants with the insights, talents, and mechanisms to help them add an extra help them add an extra £250,000 to their annual revenue, and then releases it to them, ensuring that they never have to hire another marketing agency ever again, whilst being able to leverage our customer built system to scale way beyond that. It's meant to say our custom build system to scale way beyond that. Now, our build and release model allows us to provide results consistently, effortlessly, and faster than any of our competitors. Okay, bridging the gap. And this is what we mean by bridging the gap of actually understanding what restaurants need to grow rather than what we think they need to grow, like paid ads and stuff. So we understood that most restaurant marketing agencies or restaurant media companies, just like ourselves with our previous offer, fail to understand that in order to charge high ticket prices whilst providing restaurants enough value and potential growth, we can't afford not to offer them all the mechanisms that will allow us to bridge the entire gap or close to the entire growth gap for restaurants. And unfortunately, that's what most agencies do. They don't offer that. And so therefore they remain average, and therefore they get average results for their customers. Okay. And so here's an example of a diagram that we made. The average restaurant marketing offer, right? The restaurant in your current situation, which is where you are, your desired revenue, that's what they offer in the gap. They offer maybe something or, almost close to zero of what will actually help you bridge the gap, whereas the Novak Partners program is built to provide you with all the mechanisms that are required in order for you to go from point A, where you are right now, to point B, where you want to be. Okay, and we do that with our 4-pillar approach, right? So I've just broken it down. We build a custom plan for everyone, so it's hard for me to break it down, but I broke it down very, very simply in the most basic way, so I could keep this under 22, 23 minutes video. But the Novak Partners program is made with 4 main pillars, right? Content and conversion mechanisms, retention machine, high-ticket private event acquisition system, and releasing the full infrastructure. So content and conversion mechanisms, I created a video on this already. It's going to be the first video on this channel. It's about how a restaurant grew to £85 million utilizing this exact same system and how we utilize it to help our restaurant partners grow. So we actually build out a content infrastructure, which is completely different to a creative agency because all they do is take the photos, post them on Instagram, and engage with people. But we actually build a system where we create the content through our creative director, who's worked with over 500 not food businesses, but 500 brands and scaled multiple celebrities accounts through his content systems, where we generate the attention, own the attention, educate it, and actually convert it. So we take the attention from these online programs and create a conversion mechanism to bring them into your restaurant so that you never have to hire a content agency ever again. I would highly suggest you watch this video out because it might be something that you can implement for your own self as well. Then on top of that, we build a retention machine because we understand that as a restaurant in a small ticket market with small margins, you need to retain your customers. You need to maximize the LTV of these customers. And so we build and grow a custom retention machine that maximizes the restaurant's LTV, increasing your frequency to about 35 to 50%. And so we have huge success with this. Like I said, our retention specialist is the one that works with Prime, Sidemen, Logan Paul, and the sides as well. And so we have that completely dialed in. That we also build you a high ticket and private event acquisition system where we create, plan, and implement a high ticket lead and deal generation system, which gets your restaurants high ticket leads like private events, catering deals, in-house venue tickets from anywhere between £2,000 to £10,000 plus. And I'm going to tell you why we do that in another video. Stay tuned for that. I'm going to create a whole video on that, on how we create a restaurant growth flywheel, almost similar to how Amazon grew, but how we do it for restaurants, utilizing high ticket systems to inject fast cash into your business. And then lastly, we release the entire infrastructure to you. So we package and release this custom built infrastructure to you to help you continuously scale, utilizing it, as well as increasing your EBITDA and increasing the valuation of your business. So, you can retire off of it or sell it as well. But the main plan of releasing this to you is that after the 4 months that you work with us, you will never have to hire another marketing agency ever again. You can tell how passionate I get with this because we have spent so much time in building this product that's generating amazing results. And, whenever I talk about it, I can't, stop smiling. It's that amazing. And so, like I said, at Novak Partners, what we do and what our mission is to solve the entire marketing growth gap for restaurants through implementing A-star talent systems and mechanisms to build a custom infrastructure that can be released within the restaurant so it can continuously scale itself without you having to hire another marketing agency ever again. And so after this whole thing, after showing you what BS marketing agencies there are in this industry and what we've done to differentiate ourselves and how we actually build growth systems for restaurants, if you'd like us to implement a system similar for you that works and removes all the fluff and bullshit from the marketing world, or you just want to learn a little bit more about what we do in general, then go ahead, get in touch with me or my team via the book a call link below, and let's make it happen. But thanks for your time. If you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. It encourages me to continuously posting and understand that you guys like this free value and you love more of it. So that being said, have a good one, and I appreciate you sticking around. Cheers.